What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream today. Arsenal are actually about to announce a signing. Another player has been signed. We know him very well. He was here last season. Martin Odegaard is joining Arsenal. We will break it down, how it happened, how much money he's going to be earning, all of that, people. Big up to everyone for tuning in. We moved the time slightly because, to be honest, I was watching Turkish's stream. I was enjoying it. I said, you know what? Let me watch this finish and then I'm going to go live after. You know what I mean? Let everybody do their thing. So big up to Turkish as well. I see a lot of you saying Turkish centers here, but hey, come on, people. You know it's going to be good, people. So listen, we've been in great numbers the last few days. So big up to all of you guys. I think we got 2,000 likes yesterday, 3,000 the day before. So, you know, smash that on the way and keep subscribing to the channel, people, as we continue throughout the week. Arsenal, of course, play against Chelsea this Sunday. Super Sunday, they call it. But is it going to be a Super Sunday for Arsenal Football Club? I think it's going to be. It could be a difficult Sunday for Arsenal fans. You know, I'm checking the website today. Still over 14,000 tickets available for Arsenal against Chelsea. Now, I genuinely thought, as we got closer to the weekend, these tickets would fly off the shelf. People would just pick them up anyway, people who don't watch Arsenal too much. But the fans are talking. You know, they don't want to go and watch this game. If you know there's no Gabriel at centre-back, you've got no Thomas Partey in centre midfield, you've got no Aubameyang, you've got no Lacazette. Where is the hope? Where is the expectation? Can any Arsenal fan really go into this game and think we are going to beat Chelsea with that team that we're going to have on the pitch? Now, Arsenal have responded. And they've made a signing. Now, a lot of people are actually saying, and no, 14,000, not 1,400 seats, 14,000 seats available. £85 is the cheapest ticket available. Up to about £400 for club level and those sort of hospitality seats. But for a regular seat in the stadium, you're looking at between £85 and £120. I mean, by the time you've driven there, parked up, had a drink, had some food, what, £150, £160 to watch Arsenal against Chelsea with 4 of our best players missing. New season, and for some reason, Arsenal are not prepared for it. We've said this so many times. I know it's been a slow window. I know it's been difficult because of the pandemic and people are not spending money. People are waiting until the end of the transfer window. But Arsenal should have flew out of the traps. They should not have. They're not in a position to say, we're going to act like everybody else. Chelsea had the opportunity to sit there and say, when we find the right striker, we'll do it. Champions of Europe. Man United, they knew they were getting Sancho. They were pushing for Varane. Arsenal needed to come out of the traps flying. And for me, we spoke yesterday about Kroenke and Edu and Arteta. The criticism of Stan Kroenke is not, does this guy spend money? The criticism is, how are you spending your money? And how are you looking after what happens within your football club? Big up to Fran in the chat, by the way. We are on the verge of buying Martin Odegaard. Now, is this a reaction signing to the fact that the football club know there is a protest on Sunday? The fans are disgruntled. Over 14,000 tickets available for a London derby against Chelsea. You know what, Edu? Pay that money for Martin Odegaard. Let's try and calm the fans down a little bit. So I want to add balance to this deal. On one hand, I want to say, okay, let's be positive. 22-year-old creative midfielder from Real Madrid, captain of Norway, clearly a very talented individual for £30 million. On the face of it, that's not bad. That's not bad. But let's put it into the other context. We still need a right back. We still need a centre midfielder to partner Thomas Partey. Do we have the system to get the best out of Martin Odegaard? Now, we know that we need a goal-scoring midfielder. Last season, the Arsenal player that scored the most goals was Joe Willock, who was in a Newcastle shirt scoring those goals. I sat there at the start of this transfer window. I said, more than any other position, I want Arsenal to buy a right back and a top quality central midfield player. They're the two positions for me we need more than anything else. We have to upgrade Hector Bellerin, Callum Chambers, Cedric at right back. Chambers is a centre-back. Cedric got released by Southampton. Hector Bellerin's been at the club too long. He's not the player he used to be, if even that was good enough. We needed a right back. I've seen Dumfries go to Inter Milan for 12 million. Hakimi left for 60 million. Didn't really expect us to pay that. Max Aarons is screaming to be bought, in my opinion. 25 million apparently Norwich want for him. Quality England under 21 right back. Makes so much sense that Arsenal probably don't even want to do it. Odegaard is good, but he doesn't have enough goals and assists. He will need another attacking 8 next to him. Odegaard and Aouar will be perfect. Let's have a look at the situation regarding Martin Odegaard. It all broke last night. David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano, all the usual suspects. If all goes to plan, Martin Odegaard's proposed transfer from Real Madrid to Arsenal will be for around 35 million euros. He may be in contention to feature versus Chelsea on Sunday, but still a fair amount of work to be done before being completed. Now, this has developed slightly as well this morning. According to reports, Martin Odegaard is already in London. He has to be registered by 12 o'clock on Friday to enable him to play on Sunday. Apparently, even though he's coming from Spain, which they ask you to quarantine for 5 days, if you were double vaccinated, you don't have to quarantine. Now, we don't know, but I think he must have been double vaccinated if they're saying that he doesn't have to quarantine. That would enable him to play on Sunday. Now, is he fit? Is he ready to come straight in and play in this game? We're shorter players. We've got no Aubameyang, no Lacazette. And the deal is going to be done. Now, where I'm kind of at with this deal, as I've just said, on the face of it, 35 million euros is 30 million pounds. He's a player that came in last summer. He created more chances than any other Arsenal player while he was at the club. The problem people are looking at is 2 goals, 1 assist in 6 months. Now, we know that Arsenal were not the team that we need to see. But 2 goals and 1 assist in 6 months is not enough on the face of it. Now, I believe he does more than that. I don't think it's fair to just judge him with how many goals and assists does he get. But the reality is the role of a number 10 has changed in football, in my opinion. 5 years ago, number 10s were built to pick up pockets of space, keep the ball moving, make things happen. The numbers weren't that isolated. You look at the number 10s back in the day, David Silva, Mesut Ozil, James Rodriguez, Isco, Juan Mata. We didn't judge them so much off how many goals and assists do they get. It's like how effective, how many times do they get between the lines. Pre-assists became a big thing with Mesut Ozil. He plays the pass that leads to the assist for the goal. But it's changed for me. For me, it's changed now. Number 10s have to score goals. They have to. You look at Bruno Fernandes and the amount of goals he scores. I don't think he is as talented as some of those number 10s that I've mentioned, even in the terms of David Silva, Mesut Ozil, when they was at their very best in terms of all-round talent. But when you sign a player like Bruno Fernandes, you want numbers. You want the number 10 or the attacking midfielder. Bruno is not necessarily an out-and-out 10, but you want an attacking midfielder that scores, that can get you 10 goals a season, 5, 6, 10 assists a season. Now, Odegaard came into a team that was dysfunctional, that was struggling. It's not easy to come in and just tear the place up. He'd come off the back of 6 months at Real Madrid with not much game time. I understand that Arsenal have faded, so we cannot necessarily go and get the players of the same level as a Manchester United, as a Liverpool, as a Chelsea. But I want to know, how do you guys feel about the signing of Martin Odegaard? Big up Custard Berry with a super chat. He said, very pleased with Odegaard. He is a very classy player, helps creativity. Also, we should be all over Dest at Barca. Test their resolve. They are in mad debt. We were speaking about that yesterday, and I agree with you. Odegaard will be classy, says Dana. Big up Daniel. He said, afternoon, Curtis. Hope you're well. I'm not sure about the signing. Check your messages on Twitter. Let me know when you want to do a show. Definitely. I will check that after. Maybe it's gone in the request for some reason, bro. I'll hit you up. Go and check out his channel. Big up Daniel. Big up my boy Fran in the chat as well. I know he's a massive fan of Martin Odegaard. He said, if our strikers out his assists away, then he don't need to score many. Well, if they put his assists away, sorry, I think you meant there. Yeah. Listen, when you're a creative player, I've always said, right, a creative player is only as good as the players he is creating chances for. If you create chances and the striker misses those chances, your numbers will not look great. You can't do much about that in terms of the assists. The goals, okay, again, you need a team that is good, that gets on the ball, that gets the ball to you quickly. I think that Martin Odegaard is an extremely talented footballer. I don't think there's any question. You see at times the wavelength that he's on. You know, sometimes he's half a second ahead of some of our players, your Xhakas and players like that. My problem is with him, and I have to add the balance to this as well. Football for me is not necessarily about the talent of the player that you are signing. It's about the ability of that player to fit into the system that you've got and be effective. You saw James Rodriguez. This is a guy that Real Madrid paid over £50 million for after an incredible World Cup. Last season, he goes to Everton, starts off the season well, but eventually goes downhill because he doesn't suit the system that Everton have got. They didn't play with an attacking midfielder, so they played him on the right. This season, they're trying to sell him, and they can't sell him because he's on massive wages. Like Ashton's saying, what system? I hear you. We don't really know what the system is right now. But what I'm saying is, this isn't about Martin Odegaard and his talent. He clearly is talented. As me and Fran have spoken about many times, you put him in that Man City team, he looks like a dream. You put him in a Barcelona team that is thriving when they move the ball, tiki-taka, he's going to look fantastic. The problem with Arsenal, we're slow, we're tepid, we move the ball through the line slowly. How many times have you seen Xhaka on the ball and not give the ball quickly forward? He'll keep it and give it to the left back and right back. When Martin Odegaard is getting in the pockets, do Arsenal have the midfield pivot to carry a number 10? Would we have been better off going with a three-man midfield in terms of three centre midfielders, the same way that Liverpool set up? When they let Coutinho go, they went to a three-man midfield. I'm just not sure whether we still have that midfield that is good enough to carry a number 10. Now, I do think he works hard. Martin Odegaard, he's not lazy. A lot of people used to throw at Mesut Ozil. He doesn't work hard enough, this, that, the other. I do think that he does have work rate. But can we get the best out of him? Was he the answer? I said yesterday, if Arsenal can sign James Maddison for 60-odd million and they can get Odegaard for 30-odd million, they will sign Martin Odegaard. There is no doubt about it. Financially, the deal works much better for Arsenal. Lord Nicholas Benter said, why didn't he stay and fight for his place at Madrid and play Champions League to come to a mid-table team? I mean, in his defense, I saw an interview saying that he's the 8th choice midfielder. They don't play with a number 10 under Ancelotti. They class him as a central midfielder and they consider him 8th choice. They took his squad number away from him, gave it to Rodrigo, and he wasn't involved in the squad for their first game this weekend. Now, it's all right saying, yeah, I play for Real Madrid. But if a manager tells you you're 8th choice, you've got no squad number and you're not in the squad, you're only there in contractual terms. You basically don't even play for them. So listen, I give him credit for leaving Real Madrid. Coming to Arsenal, people will question, but how many other options did he have? He knows Arsenal, he knows London, Arteta. Arsenal will double up the wage. He'll play every week. You can see why he's going to take the deal. Richard Reed said, big up Big C. How can the club continue to make incompetent signings and contract renewals for so many years and only paper over the cracks? I just don't get it. Cheers. This is it. We're now paying for the mistakes from the previous regimes. Growing Simba said, salute Curtis, with no Champions League and Europa League distractions. I mean, in fairness, we wouldn't mind those distractions, but I hear you. Surely that's a free run to win the league for Arsenal, biggest club in London. Hey, Simba, I think you need to wake up from that dream, bro. We ain't winning no league for now. Maybe on FIFA 22 we'll win the league or Football Manager, but we ain't winning no league. We'll be looking to get top 6 at the moment. Arteta likes him because he has a good attitude. Yeah. Listen, he's on some get down or lay down thing, Mikel Arteta. Get down with my philosophy and my, rules and regulations, or you're going to be thrown out the door. But unfortunately, he's throwing players out the door that are probably better than the players we've got. Guendouzi, Saliba, these kind of players. Custard Berry Tart said, buy Aouar, 4-3-3 with Partey, Odegaard and Aouar as a free. The Smith on the left, Saka on the right, buy a new striker or pray Aubameyang comes good. I hear you on that. Could you play him? The thing is, has Odegaard got the engine to play in a midfield 3? You play Emile Smith-Rowe on the left, you're then benching Nicolas Pepe, who cost £72 million. And I think this season is the make or break season for Nicolas Pepe. I don't think there's any more excuses. If he does the business this year, then great. If he doesn't, I genuinely think you've got to look at showing Pepe the door. You can't pay 72 million for a player and 3 years later, you're still waiting to see what happens. Now, in his defense, Nicolas Pepe, he scored 10 Premier League goals last year without playing on a regular basis, with no regular link-up with a right back, and also being played more as a right midfielder than a right attacking forward, if you like, right forward. So he is producing numbers in that sense, but he has to produce more in terms of performances. He has to produce more in the big games. Steve said, so there you go, Curtis. It's all about money. The board don't want to spend big money. I mean, listen, Fabrizio Romano saying this was the number one target, numero uno, not Buendia, not Maddison. It was Martin Odegaard. And I can see why they would have wanted that deal. I think Mikel Arteta likes these kind of younger players that will listen to Arteta, that will respect him. They're not going to come in and question his methods because they haven't played football consistently at certain levels where they're going to question him, the way an Aubameyang might question him or certain other players. Jim says play Pepe up front. Shah said, Curtis Shaw TV doing bits. Big up, bro. Nearly 3,000 of you in here already. Make sure you smash the subscribe button. We're moving up in great numbers at the moment. And like the video. Can we hit 1,000 likes as usual? Cap said 3-4-2 would suit us with the players we have at the moment. Do you know what? I went through some systems yesterday. And some people were saying we should play Pepe up front with Aubameyang. I personally think against Chelsea, we should play 3-4-3. Go back to wing backs. I think I said Tierney, either Pablo Mari or Rob Holding at centre back next to Ben White, and then play Saka wing back and Maitland-Niles wing back and give us that extra protection, because Sunday could be a big problem. I want to know in the comments, people, how do you feel about Martin Odegaard? Are you in the really positive section where you think, listen, 22, lots of room for improvement? I've seen people saying, high ceiling, big potential for him to keep improving. Seems to want to play for Arsenal. And, was our most creative player when he joined us in January. Still room to improve. Or are you in the camp where you're looking at it and saying, listen, he's a good player, but he doesn't produce enough in terms of goals and assists. We need a midfielder that's going to score goals, and you're not sure whether he's going to, answer that question. Crazy thing is, Joe Willock scored more than all of our midfielders last season, and we've sold him, Adrian said Ben White for 50 million, Odegaard for 30, Tavares, Ramsdale, spending over 100 mil. If Arteta can't make this work, then I hear you, Adrian. He's got no excuse. Appreciate a super chat, bro. Big up, Jay. Hope you're well. Said, hold on, Curtis. Over 2.5K, not even 1K likes. We'll get there, people. I give the people some time to warm up and settle in, you know. Siram said, Curtis deserves more subscribers. All in good time, people. We'll get there. We're getting there. Herko said, good signing, but we have to get Aouar as well. We will talk about Aouar shortly. Henry said he has a feathery pass perfectly weighted. Got to get the ball to him early. Got to get movement in front of him. Umar said, Odergaard is a very good investment, only 22 and going to develop. I agree with you on that. The so-called current system won't let him shine. Arteta, you know, maybe we see the best of him when Arteta's not actually his manager, which I think will happen at some stage this season, if I'm being honest. Brandon said he's a good player, but I also feel they're signing him to keep the fans silent because of everything going on. Hopefully all the other guys in Arsenal are on this wavelength. He's a very intelligent player, 100%. Would you take Ziyech? I think, how old is Ziyech? He's definitely got the quality, but listen, he's a right winger. We've got Saka, we've got Pepe. It's not a position we need at the moment. The fact he wants to play for us where we are, and Arteta, worst manager ever, is worrying. People saying it's worrying. Was it desperation? He needed to get out of Madrid, and we were the option that were there ready to pay him the money. Get this man to 1K likes. We'll get there, people. Smooth said, no, Odegaard, another panic buy is too casual and safe. We need some roughnecks. I think that's the general feeling that people have with Odegaard. Is he too nice? Is he another nice Arsenal player that on a sunny afternoon on a Saturday when Arsenal are bopping Norwich and we've got 68% possession and everything's nice, we're 2 or 3-0 up, Martin Odegaard looks like an absolute dream of a player in that number 10 role for you. But when you're at Manchester City and City have had 65% possession and De Bruyne's running riot and they're pressing you off the ball every minute and your back's against the wall, is this guy going to roll up his sleeves? Is he a player that can get on the ball and start bossing the big games? That's going to be the question to see how good this guy is. And can Mikel Arteta get the best out of him? The question for me, like I said, it's not about Martin Odegaard's quality. He has the quality. Can Arsenal get the best out of him? Does he become a luxury player because we're not good enough to get the ball to him early? You know, Thomas Partey is injured at the moment. He misses the City and Chelsea game. We're potentially going into that game with Lokonga and Granit Xhaka in midfield. You're going to be playing against Kante, Jorginho, Havertz, Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, and Gundogan. You know, you'll spend a lot of the time not on the ball. So, listen, time will tell. On the face of it, for me, £30 million for Martin Odegaard is not a bad signing. The position we're in, we can't necessarily get much better than him. What my problem is he going to answer the question that we need to be answered? And that question is, we need goals from midfield. The best teams, they get goals from midfield. You know, apart from maybe Liverpool, who allow their front three to stay at the top of the pitch. Let's be positive about it, people. Listen, let's not moan about it before it breaks. You know, it's not broke, so let's not moan. He come in, he had a positive influence on us for 6 months. He's going to come in now and have a full season. The players know him. He seems popular. Let's hope 2 goals, 1 assist in half a season. In a full season, we need that to be 7 goals, 8 assists, something along those lines. So, listen, welcome to Arsenal. I'm sure it'll be announced by tomorrow. Apparently, he's already in London, so the medical should be happening sooner rather than later. So, listen, from that point of view, I'm going to try and see it from a positive point of view. You know, I would rather have Odegaard than not have nobody with the position we're currently in at the moment. If he's half as good as Ozil, we've won. Just hope it don't end like Ozil. And that's the thing. Ozil is very much like Arsene Wenger. The Mesut Ozil we had the first 2 or 3 years, absolutely unbelievable. One of the best number 10s in the world. The Mesut Ozil we had for the last few years, luxury player, didn't work hard enough, couldn't get the ball to him, didn't have players around him that you could help him thrive. So it's which Mesut Ozil / Martin Odegaard you get to work at Arsenal. Let's see. What I will say, people, don't get caught up in this signing. Be positive. It's a good player that I think does have a lot of potential to improve. But let's not get caught up on this. Arsenal have still finished 8th 2 years in a row. Arsenal still got beat to Brentford on Friday night. Arsenal still play Chelsea and Manchester City the next 2 games going into the international break. There is a protest on Sunday for a reason. Fans have had enough of what is happening at this football club. Whether that energy is towards Stan Kroenke, Edu and Vinay, or Mikel Arteta, there is a major problem at Arsenal, or even all of them. What I want to say is this. People. Arsenal are now one of the biggest spenders in this transfer window, with this signing about to be announced. When this deal is completed, Arsenal will have spent £105 million, right? In a market where not a lot of money is being spent. If we sign Aaron Ramsdale, I mean, I'm sorry to say this, people. I know we don't really want him, the majority of us. But if we sign Aaron Ramsdale, we will have spent £130 million. £130 million, people. If you spend £130 million, I would expect to look at that team and see significant improvements. The crazy thing about Arsenal at the moment, you look at it, Odegaard set to be announced. Ramsdale looks like he's on the way. For £130 million, if I'm Stan Kroenke, I'm sitting there going, the team doesn't look that much better than last season. So again, my point always being, it's not about spending money with Arsenal. It's the way we're spending this money. If you spend 130 million quid, your team should improve significantly. Big up Custard Berry said, I hear you on Pepe, but he has nowhere near the passion or hunger Saka and Smith Rowe have. Pepe has to want to be that guy. Said this many times, bro. I agree with you. Pepe's got to want to be one of the best wingers in the Premier League. He needs that hunger that Sterling, Salah, Zaha, Son, those wingers want to be the best. Pepe looks happy to be here and pick up the dough. I need to see more hunger from him. But Arteta has to help him. Hayes Light, big up with the super chat. Much appreciated. Said, please, for the love of Christ, sell El Neni, Bellerin and Nketiah. Plus, don't expect to get anyone cheap. These clubs have some crafty businessmen working for them, and they smell our desperation. The problem you've got, Hayes Light, whilst I totally agree with you, it's very hard to sell your own rubbish. And the reality is, people don't rate El Neni, Bellerin and Eddie Nketiah. They're all on good wages. Bellerin's on 110 grand a week. So, yeah, we have to get moving and shaking. I appreciate your super chat. What I'm saying here, people, I'm looking at a list. Nuno Tavares, 8 million. We're going to be honest. Second choice left back at Benfica, was brought in as backup for Arsenal. So not a problem with that one. He's young. He's a bit different to what we've got in more ways than one, if you know what I mean. Woof woof settings. Sambi Lokonga, £17 million. Young player from Anderlecht. I would have brought him in as a squad player. I hope we don't have to use him as a first-team player all the time. But the reality is, if we're keeping Xhaka, we may actually end up relying on Lokonga a lot more than usual. 17 million. I don't mind him as a signing. Ben White, £50 million. I've said time and time again, Ben White is a good centre-back. I've got a few issues with that. Number one, could we have spent that 50 million on a midfielder and kept William Saliba at centre-back? Is he much better than William Saliba? Number two, I don't think he's worth £50 million. We paid Premier League and English tax on him. He's worth 30 to 35 million, in my opinion. Number three, and a stat that I brought up the other day that I wasn't aware of, Ben White won 49% of his aerial duels in the Premier League last season. 49%. Less than half of his aerial duels did he win in the Premier League. That, for me, is worrying. When you look at the quality of wide players in the Premier League, the amount of crosses that gets put in, to sign a centre-back, no matter how good he is on the ball, who wins 49% of his aerial duels, that for me is a worrying statistic. One that only seems to have come out after the ink's dried on the £50 million contract that we paid for. Now, it's funny how football's changed, hasn't it, over the last few years. When you bought a centre-back 5 years ago, you wanted a guy that can defend, can win his headers, wins his tackles, reads the game well. Now, all of a sudden, we're going, yeah, but he's good on the ball, he can pass. Even the goalkeeper, we want a ball-playing goalkeeper. But I want to know, how good can you defend? When you're in one-on-one situations with tricky players, can you handle them? Are you quick? Do you win the headers? Are you strong? Can you handle Lukaku, Harry Kane, players of that level? That, for me, is the biggest issue. Not can you play 20 passes a game to the centre midfielder. So for me, Ben White is another player, in my opinion, that, as I've said before, people, trifle settings. You're putting him into a trifle, a mess of a defence. People say, oh, we're the third lowest goals conceded last season. That doesn't mean that we're the third best defence. It just means we're losing games by less goals. Under Wenger, we played all-out attack. If we went 1-0 down, it could be 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, because we wouldn't close the door. We would just allow them to keep attacking. Whereas now, we go 1 or 2 goals down, we close and set up shop and don't get battered. That doesn't mean we are a better defensive unit. Ben White played next to Lewis Dunk. Lewis Dunk is a leader. Lewis Dunk wins headers. Lewis Dunk is strong. He organises. You're putting Ben White into a back four with Kieran Tierney, who is still young in terms of his Arsenal career. Gabriel, who still doesn't even speak fluent English yet, who's only 22, 23 years of age himself. And whoever gets picked at right back, you know, we got 1 of 4 at the moment. Bellerin, Chambers, Cedric and Ainsley. Where's the leader in that back four? Look at the top 4 teams in the Premier League at the moment. Manchester United, no matter what you think about this guy, they've got Maguire. He's a leader. They've signed Varane, experience, leadership. Manchester City have got Ruben Diaz, who's become a leader very quickly. You know? Chelsea have got Thiago Silva. These teams have got leaders. Van Dijk at Liverpool. You have to have a leader. It's just young players. They're going to be looking at each other. Was that your man? Who's the leader? Who's the captain? Where are the leaders in Arsenal Football Club from top to bottom? I can't see the captain. We're so desperate for a captain that we're having to cling to Kieran Tierney because Tierney shouts at people when things go wrong. Because he trains in a t-shirt when it's 3 degrees. And he's got some passion. It doesn't even necessarily mean he's a captain. He's just showing leadership qualities. He's just showing a great attitude. Big up Bart Coleman. He said, I would rather have Woodman over Ramsdale. I think Sambi isn't ready, so we need we need a new right back. So much is needed, in my opinion. I don't know where to begin. 100%. 100%. Big up for the super chat. Where are the leaders? Who's organising? What? When they sit down and target their players, what is the aim of the signing? What are they trying to achieve? We all knew we needed a right back, but instead of buying a right back, we've kept all of them. It's quantity over quality. We're not prepared to make those hard decisions to change things around. How can we improve if we're keeping the players that failed us over the years? How is that going to happen? If a guy's consistently failing you, how can you move forward without moving those guys on? You have to clear the deck. Get rid of those guys who are letting you down, bring in more quality, lift that team together. But you have to set people up to achieve success. You can't just buy Ben White, put him in a defense that is all over the place and say, go and fix it. He's still sorting himself out as a player. He's only had 1 season in the Premier League. He's still figuring out himself as a player. You can't expect Ben White to fix that defense. You know, you can't expect Sambi Lokonga to fix our midfield. He's a 21-year-old inexperienced player who's just come from Belgium. He needs time. Where are the characters? We've got to buy characters and leaders. It's not just about experience. It's about leadership. We're buying the wrong types of experience with Willian and Peter Cech and David Luiz. You know, we need players that we can build on. So it is what it is. Like I said, people, Odegaard deal takes us to £105 million. If we get the Ramsdale deal completed, unfortunately, that takes Arsenal to £130 million spent. Now, Ben White will go straight into the 11. Odegaard will go into the 11. I think when Xhaka's fit and Partey's fit, Sambi will be on the bench. Tavares will be on the bench. Ramsdale, I think, will be on the bench. So to spend £130 million and 2 players have gone into your starting 11, one of whom is Ben White, the second one is Martin Odegaard, who we had for the second part of last season, I would be asking serious questions. For £130 million, we should have 4 new players in the starting 11 that significantly improve us. Max Aaron's 25 million. Basuma, 40 million, 50 million. Aouar, 25 million. You know? What, like, he can't say nothing about Kroenke this summer, I've got to be honest. Mikel Arteta and Edu. It has to fall on them. Man United have spent 110 million. Jadon Sancho, Rafael Varane. Now, I understand Arsenal are not in a position to go and get a Rafa Varane or a Jadon Sancho. We have to sign from a level below that. But there has to be a certain level of expectation. If you need a second choice goalkeeper, get Areola on loan. Get Sam Johnston for 15 million quid. Don't spend 25 million on a guy that we're not even sure if he's good enough. Tavares was 8 million, decent value. Sambi Lokonga was 17 million, decent value, looks a good player. 50 million on Ben White, was that necessary? For me, I think that's a luxury that we didn't need straight away. I would have promoted Saliba, given him an opportunity, but it is what it is. 30 million on Odegaard, okay. But you've got to put other things around them. If we had Basuma and Thomas Partey in the middle of midfield and you got Odegaard in the 10, all of a sudden I'm saying, okay, you might see Odegaard balling this season because that pivot is a brick wall. You can't just run through that team the way Brentford were just rolling through our team on Friday evening, embarrassing us. Where's the spine of this football team? We could have kept Matt Ryan, as you're saying. Matt Ryan was a decent player for me. We could have got him for peanuts. Why? These guys have to understand they can't keep wasting money. 12 new signings since Mikel Arteta has joined. 7 new contracts. 19 of the 25 players are here because of Mikel Arteta. It's crunch time for Mikel Arteta now. You've got no excuse. Now, I hear you. People are saying who picked Arteta, who keeps Edu and that. So I'm not saying for 1 second that Stan Kroenke, I want him here as the owner. I want him gone like anyone else. But what I'm saying, this summer has to be laid at the door of the manager. You've spent 130 million once these 2 signings are completed. This team doesn't look much better to me. Now, that for me is a worry. If you spend 130 million, I should see 3 or 4 players that significantly improve you. You know, Chelsea spent 90. Lukaku improves them massively. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I don't know with Arsenal. You know, we asked for money to be spent, but have they spent it wisely, people? That is the question. Now, Martin Odegaard. Where the questions are being asked of Odegaard is this. Goal output. Now, I don't like to judge a player purely on stats of goals and assists because he's a creative player. He can pick out passes. He keeps the game ticking. But people will judge him on this, unfortunately. 14 games last year, 1 goal, 2 assists. That's not enough. That has to go up significantly. Now, you look at his time at Real Madrid. I mean, he's played 8 games for Real Madrid. He's been there since 2014. Now, don't get me wrong. He was like 16 when they bought him. But again, not enough. Not enough. He can't get into this Madrid team. At Sociedad, which was one of his best times, 4 goals, 6 assists. I mean, nah, it's all right. It's okay. He did well at Vitesse Arnhem in Holland. 9 goals, 12 assists. They're the kind of numbers that Arsenal need to be seeing. We can't be seeing this. 1 goal, 2 assists. I need to be seeing 7, 8 goals, 7, 8 assists. Then we can talk. Now, let's try and look at it with a bit more of a positive spin. I don't want to be all doom and gloom. We've signed a good young player for £30 million. Now, if Arsenal want to make this work, in my opinion, and big up to Kevin, he said, where does it put ESR? He should be one of our first players on the team sheet week in, week out. Now, for me, I see that a little different. I think ESR has to do more as well in that sense. Because if you're playing for a big, big football club, which we still consider ourselves, then we have to do more. Smith Rowe is 21 years of age. He's not a world beater. He's a very good young player. You should not, at 21 years of age, be guaranteed a starting place at a big football club. You know, Smith Rowe should not be guaranteed a start. He got 2 goals, 4 assists last season. So he got a bit more, but not much more. I have no problem with him having competition for a place. So in that sense, I don't think ESR should be guaranteed a place in the team sheet. I have no problem with some weeks if you see Pepe and Saka out wide and maybe you go Odergaard in the 10. Some weeks you play Smith Rowe in the 10 and drop Odegaard. Some weeks you move him to the left. I don't believe Smith Rowe should be guaranteed a start at Arsenal. I don't think that's how big football clubs should operate. Unless you're an absolute world beater like you're Mbappe or Haaland or something. So listen, I respect your opinion. And I know a lot of people really, really rate Smith Rowe. I rate him as well. But I think he should have competition. I think sometimes he should be on the bench. ESR is better than Odegaard to me. Listen, I have no problem with people thinking that. They both play for Arsenal, so if one's better than the other, that's fine. I don't consider Arsenal a big club. Jaminio said, hey, Curtis, hope you're well. Hope you're good, bro. We need Dominic Calvert-Lewin, a goal getter. I like him. Good. A bit of an old school striker. Wins his headers, holds the ball up. Giving Smith Rowe the 10 is embarrassing. I think we're in a situation now, FIFA Chief, where the numbers mean very little nowadays. When he got that number 10, I was like, what? Dennis Bergkamp, Jack Wilshere, Mesut Ozil. You know, I look at the 10 shirt with a lot of pride, but the reality is you've given the 10 shirt to people like William Gallas. From when you're doing that, it means nothing. It's just a number now. So giving him the 10 is neither here nor there to me. We've already diluted any real seriousness of that number anyway. For me, if Arsenal are going to get the best out of Odegaard, out of players like Smith Rowe, I think Arsenal need to be moving in this direction. Lyon were beaten 3-0 last night by Angers. And Juninho, the club's sporting director, had a bit of a meltdown after the game. He came out and said that players have got to leave. And apparently there's 4 players he named. One of them was Aouar. He's available for £25 million. Bonjour, monsieur. He's available for £25 million. Scored 7 goals last season, which, bear in mind, he's not an out-and-out number 10. He's a creative central midfielder, which 7 goals is not bad compared to what Arsenal. We got 6 goals out of all our midfielders put together last season. So if this guy got 7 in a team that wasn't even great last season, I've got no problem with that. I'll take Aouar for £25 million. What Arsenal need, they need a midfielder that can load up the ball for the attacking, more creative players. For £25 million, for me, this is a no-brainer. Imagine a midfield three of Aouar, Partey and Odegaard, or Aouar, Partey and Smith Rowe. You've got your ball player, you've got your ball winner, your powerhouse, and you've got your creator in front of them. then maybe we can start playing some proper football. If you're putting Granit Xhaka in the midfield, it's not going to happen. AFC once stood for Arsenal Football Club. Now it's, absolute effing circus. You're not wrong. Big up Greg. He said almost 4K watching Big C. Where is the merch? The merch soon come, man. Don't worry. We're going to get designing. Big up School Fuggery in the chat. Hope you're well, my bro. Probably gave him the 10 as a way to tempt him from joining Villa. Shows how far we've fallen. Do you know what I mean? We got to convince these, man. I think Smith Rowe's agent played a blinder this summer. He used the Aston Villa interest to just manipulate Arsenal. He probably got more wages than he should have got. He got a bigger signing on fee than he should have got. And he got the number 10 shirt that he probably shouldn't have got. So sometimes all you need is a bit of interest from elsewhere and you work that to your advantage. And his agent played an absolute blinder. Essex Bloke 78, big up, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Said promote Saliba, free Matt Ryan, free Saliba. 40. Oh, sorry. What was he saying? Promote Saliba, free Matt Ryan. I think he was saying 40 million for Basuma, 17 million for Sambi, 25 for Aouar, 8 for Tavares. That's how you strengthen. This is treason. I mean, listen, like I said, my friend, I would have been more than happy to promote Saliba and not spend that 50 million on Ben White. But we have spent the 50 million. So we are where we are. What the club need to do is sort the midfield out. Sort the midfield out. You cannot go into a season with Granit Xhaka as one of your pivotal midfielders. Look at the midfields we're up against, people. This weekend, we're going up against Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic, Havertz. Next week, we're going up against De Bruyne, Fernandinho, Rodri, Gundogan. The levels are just drastically different. If Thomas Partey doesn't play, our midfield is a mess. One player coming out of our midfield and we're finished. Even if Lokonga's a good player, next to Xhaka, it won't happen. We won't win big games. You know, we need another midfielder we can rely on. Curtis, I think Odegaard is bad news for Pepe. Arteta won't allow Pepe to flourish. He will play Saka on the right, Odegaard in the 10, and Smith Rowe on the left. That is one of my worries as well, YK. I totally agree with you. How many times did we see it last year? Smith Rowe got thrown on the left. Odegaard was in the 10. Pepe was the fall guy. Like I said, I'm glad we've got competition, but I think Pepe should be getting game time this year because for me, it's make or break for him. Darren said nearly 3.9 watching, like and subscribe. People, big up, big up. Like the video, people. Let's lick 1,000 likes and subscribe if you haven't already. Albert Rovzing said ESR a number 8 with Partey number 6 and Odegaard number 10. Curtis, bro, which Liverpool players would you take at Arsenal? Bro, I'd take your whole 11. No joke. I'd take nearly your whole 11. You know, I'd take your entire back four. I'd take your keeper. I'd take your whole midfield. I'd probably keep Partey. And, I mean, your front line speaks for itself. So, Partey and probably your whole team. Even said, Ari watching Willock Stunner v Liverpool and seeing him celebrate how he did, it hurts a lot. We made another Gnabry mistake, but to an EPL team. I personally don't think Joe Willock is them Gnabry levels. Gnabry's ripped up the Champions League. He's in the German team. I don't think Willock is on those levels. I think Willock would have stayed if we had a manager with a system where he could have integrated him. It's the Arteta effect, people. You know, it's very difficult to thrive under Mikel Arteta. You know, very difficult. Dal Fogg said, big up, Curtis. Great content as usual. Definitely get the merch. I've never bought any merch, but I'm itching for yours. Keep up the great work. We have to design something proper, you know, so it's worthwhile buying. I don't want to throw any old boring merch out there for you people. Smash the likes. Let's hit 2K if possible. But Aouar, listen, like I said, Aouar, Juninho, the former free kick Donny from back in the day at Lyon, has come out and said that 4 players are available to leave. Aouar is one of these players. And for me, it's a no-brainer. 23 years of age. Last season, 7 goals, 3 assists in a team that weren't as good last season. 2 years before that, 7 goals, 7 assists. Not bad for a guy that is not necessarily a number 10. This is just a creative central midfielder, more of a number 8. I would be all over this deal. You know, they wanted to pay 50 million for him last season. You can get him for 25. Get him in. Get him next to Partey. And let's start playing football from the back. You've got Ben White, who can play out from the back. Get your ball playing centre mid in, and we're talking. Then we've got something to build with, move forward with. You cannot build through the lines if you're giving the ball to Granit Xhaka. It will not work. How are you saying that Odegaard will improve at 22, but Willock will not? First of all, now, Willock has just joined Newcastle. Now, no disrespect, Newcastle are going to be in a dogfight. It's more difficult for him to improve at a club that are going to take, L's a lot of the time. I think Willock can reach a good level. I just think his all-round game is not necessarily at the level that the guy was just saying in terms of Serge Gnabry. I don't see him at that level. Drogbinho, big up bro, said Arteta is going to force Partey to play against Chelsea. He's going to get re-injured because he is so desperate to win. Bro, I think he's absolutely, definitely out of that game, Joke FC. Newcastle, the next Leicester? I don't think so, man. They're not spending no money. Cap said you have to half them stats in the Prem as he plays in the Farmers League. I mean, listen, we say that, but some of these teams would probably deal with Arsenal right now. You know what I mean? We've lost to worse teams, let's put it that way. But why aren't we going to get the deal done, Curtis? Because if it makes sense, Arsenal will not do it. Arsenal were desperate to buy this guy last summer for 40, 50 million pounds. A year later, he's available for 25 and we're staying away from it. I mean, I think personally Arsenal will make a move for him towards deadline day. I really do. I think they will try and get a few players out the door before they make a move. Sid said, Curtis, I wanted Zaha on the merch. Yeah, people, anyone who's been watching this for a while, man, for probably 2 years, I've wanted Zaha at Arsenal. But unfortunately, it's one of them deals that will never happen. We don't need a striker. We have Martinelli. Can Martinelli thrive up front, though? Can he thrive up front? Rashawn said Arsenal, the £500 jeans team. For anyone who watched yesterday, I referred to Arsenal as a team that goes shopping with £500 and only buys the jeans, don't buy the shirt, don't buy the shoes, and go out clubbing in AstroTurfs, total 90s and jeans. They don't seem to know how to spend the money. Definitely have to have everything is fine on the merch. Everything, or if it makes sense, Arsenal won't do it. But Aouar, let me know your thoughts, people. 22 years of age, available for 25 million. And, seems like a no-brainer for me. Seems like a no-brainer. Total 90 set. Them man there. When you see a man in jeans and AstroTurfs, you have to stay well away. Them man are dangerous. I don't know what's going through man's head when they come out the yard like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to stay far away from them man there. Them man who used to wear Adidas Sambas and jeans, bro. I stay far away. Them man are unhinged. You know what I mean? Them man don't look in the mirror. Ben Sherman shirts, I'm telling you. The Gam said, Curtis, so no right back. We forgot about that area. Bro, we got 4 right backs. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna buy no right back. Make it make sense on the merch. Jimbo said, my dad rocks that up. No, not gonna lie. Listen, it's acceptable if he's 50 plus. You know what I mean? That's their generation. But if it's the younger ones, then relax. Don't turn up with no boot cuts and AstroTurfs. You know what I mean? That's wild. We can't be moving like that. You know what I'm saying? For 25 mil, I'd take a punt on him. No brainer. Man are buying youngsters for 25 mil. This guy's a quality player. Was being linked with Juventus, PSG, and Real Madrid last season. Arteta is a football terrorist on the merch. Oh, my days. Listen, by the time the merch comes out, I don't think he'll even be the manager. So we don't need to mention Arteta. Man said that's wild. Man. You've seen it, people. Boot cuts and AstroTurfs. When you see that, man, it's a headache. You know what I'm saying? Kieran Trippier would be a good right back for Arsenal. 31 years of age. Former Tottenham as well. We don't forget. He's on nearly 100 grand a week. I wouldn't want Trippier personally. I got to be honest. Amiri and total 90s. You know what I mean, Darren? Come on. You have to stay away from that. South London's Finest said Arsenal won't get him, unfortunately, because we've doubled down on Xhaka. But it will definitely bring a different dimension. I personally think Arsenal will sign Odegaard, probably sign Ramsdale, and I think they will go for one more around deadline day when they've got rid of a couple. I think you'll see a couple of players leave on loan over the next week or so. Just in case, my brother that looked back in the day to Notting Hill Carney and got no play whatsoever. Yo, bro, listen, we all wore boot cuts back in the day. That was just a fashion. You know what I'm saying? Boot cuts and white Air Forces, man. That was a look back in the day. Baggy white T-shirt. But if you're wearing boot cuts and AstroTurfs, bro, yo, like, are you going night clubbing and then going to play five-a-side? I don't know. Like, is this multitasking? I don't know what's going on. Captain Price said, Curtis still on for the protest. Odegaard signing might affect the numbers. I'm there, bro. You think Odegaard stops me from going to a protest? You're mad, bro. I'm there. Anyone who's there Sunday, you know what I mean? Say hello, people. Let's talk. Let me know what you think. Who are you there for? Are you there for Kroenke? Are you there for Arteta? Are you there for Edu? Are you there for Vinay? Or you want all of them? I mean, that's going to be interesting. Some people want the manager out. Some want the owner out. Some want all of them out. Willian to Inter Miami. I think they already said now they can't afford. The wage is too high. Akash said, hey, Big C, have you seen the Bell apologising yesterday or failed file? I mean, listen, I don't want to make no judgment on him. He got Thomas Partey right. He's got Maddison wrong. It is what it is. I don't get too caught up in these Twitter accounts, man. Some of them have got inside info. Some of it is guesswork, you know. Odegaard doesn't excuse that Brentford performance. Do you know what I'm saying? For Brentford, they should have pulled out Lautaro Martinez or something. You know what I mean? Buenos Aires Guna, please stream the protest. Yeah, I will. I will try and get 20 minutes, half an hour footage. I will be coming straight back and doing the watch along on Sunday. You know, I've got a ticket, but I don't want to go. You know, I don't want to spend £85 on a ticket to watch Lukaku just beat up our defence, you know, and Kante bullying our midfield. It's the players, Curtis, got to be on the merch. It's the players, Curtis, with a little picture of Kevin Campbell. Yo, might have to do that, you know. Boot cuts and AstroTurfs, Weatherspoon settings. You know, people. Straight out of Sports Direct, them, man, there. Christian said, big up, Curtis. If our squad is full, how could our best 11 compete? To look on the positive side, if the coach and the players pull out their finger, I'm sure we can compete somehow. Listen, I've said it, people, and I know people don't like to hear this. This is a top 6 target season. We got to try and get top 4, but I don't believe it's going to happen. I just don't think we've got the quality now. It's more a case of we've got to be ready in case somebody falls out of the top 4. At the moment, I can't see anything other than Man City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. We got to be there in case. Leicester will be there in case, but that top 4 looks assert at the moment. Matchday blog if you go into the game. Yeah, like I said, I don't think I'll be going to the game. Why did you buy a ticket? Season ticket, bro. Season ticket, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, just sell that ticket. Love the stream, Big C. Big up Saggy Sacks, man. Yo, them names there. You know. Curtis Ramsdale happening. I thought you was calling me Curtis Ramsdale. Listen, people, I said it yesterday. Let's talk about him. Let's talk about the boy, Aaron Ramsdale. People were calling him all sorts yesterday. Rumpelstiltskin, someone called him. Someone called him Aaron Dingle, Aaron Emmerdale. He was getting all sorts of slander in the chat. Like I said, man, it's one of them signings. We got to accept it, man, and just hope something positive comes out of it. We saw this. Arsenal once again pushing to sign Aaron Ramsdale. Talks have reopened. This was the old story, but the new story. This was from the Sheffield United. Aaron Bumsdale. Ramsdale is a quality keeper. You're probably the first person I've seen say that. Aaron Bamdelli. Aaron Ramsdale. You know what I mean? He was getting annihilated, man. It was harsh. Relegation Ramsdale. Ramsdale is better than Leno. Wow. I mean, I haven't seen many people say that. Aaron Lonsdale, yo, that is an absolute banger. That one just feels right. Aaron Lonsdale, you know. Jokanovic, Slavisa Jokanovic, the former Fulham manager, who's now the Sheffield United manager, said, on the Ramsdale to Arsenal deal, it will depend on the club. It will depend on Arsenal too. They are the principal club pushing for him. I will be disappointed if he leaves the club, but it's part of the realistic situation. He went on to say, he confirmed that Aaron Ramsdale wants to join Arsenal. Naturally, he wants to be a Premier League player. I'm talking with him. He believes it can be a good move for himself. I understand Arsenal are interested, but this is business. Jokanovic said, Arsenal is pushing from one side and I am pulling from a different side. It's part of the work. They have more tools than me. I cannot pay his contract with this transfer right now. He said, I will be satisfied if this guy stays, but if it doesn't happen, I will wish him all the best. Now, to me, when you start talking like that, the manager knows this is a matter of time. Man said Aaron Almunia. This deal is going to happen, in my opinion. The manager's saying, if it doesn't happen, I will wish him all the best. You don't hear managers saying things like that. People saying don't use Chris Wheatley. People are onto him now, yeah. But listen, he's got the quotes from Jokanovic. Ramsdale. I mean, Aaron AstroTurfs. Listen, he's definitely got that look of like he was wearing AstroTurfs in the nightclub in Sheffield, man. I'm telling you. Aaron Runnersdale. Aaron Wensleydale. The cheese, man. I'm telling you. Wallace and Gromit settings. But listen, I think he's on his way to Arsenal. £25 million, they're saying now. Jokanovic seems pretty resigned to the fact that he's on his way out. The deal makes no sense to me. For 25 million, you can get much better. People saying he's got cargos and suedes. Oh, dear. I mean, it is what it is. And like I said, I don't think that the protest, these signings should not distract us from the bigger picture. This manager is not getting the best out of this team. This technical director is not recruiting the best possible players for the money available to him. Stan Kroenke is not even overlooking what is happening with his money. It's as if they knock on his door, he writes a check, he gives them the check and just doesn't even make eye contact. And then checks a year later to see what's happened. Find out what the situation is. What's happening to your money? How is it being spent? They've spent 130 million once to complete this deal. And we don't even know if we're better than we were last season when we've spent 130 mil. How can that be the case? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. 10 clean sheets in 75 Premier League appearances for Aaron Ramsdale. 5 clean sheets last season in 38 games. 2 mistakes that led to goals. It's very difficult. Christian saying ask for stats. There are very few stats I can give you, to be honest. He played every game for Sheffield United last season, 38 out of 38. They were relegated. He conceded 65 goals in 38 games. 2 mistakes led to goals. He dropped 10 crosses. What can I tell you? It's very difficult to look at stats and really rate a goalkeeper. How good is he at passing out from the back? That's something we need. Sakaya Baka said we may as well get Ben Foster, the GOAT of content for sure. Look out for him. I'm getting him on here soon, hopefully, people, at some stage this season. The dude ain't worth half that price. Aaron Bergerdale, yo, man, it's sad, isn't it? Listen, we got to at least add some humor to it, people, if we're not happy. Subscribe, by the way. Road to 40k settings. Like the video as well. Big up for all of you on the great numbers. 25 mil for those stats. I mean, they're not enough to get you excited. As Josh said, be excited. We can't get excited about them, man. We really can't. It's nowhere near enough. I mean, look at this. This is what Sky Sports think about Arsenal. How can you write headlines like that? The lack of respect. Look at the way they've changed the font on the word bully as well. Like we're even being trolled by television companies. Lukaku's going to be on smoke on Sunday. First game back, London derby, Arsenal, Chelsea. you're going to give this man Pablo Mari and Ben White or Rob Holding. He's, you know what I mean? Italic writing. They had to change the word so we understood. Pure disrespect from Sky. It's disrespectful, but we're in that position. We're in that position that these lot are gonna do this to us. Romelu Lukaku could be about to bully Arsenal on Super Sunday, but there is much more to the Chelsea's new signing than that. What has become of us, people? He's looking like a monster to me right now when I think about the defense that we're going to try and put up against him. Control all italic business, control all I or whatever. They're getting creative. Imagine if we get a result, but I don't see it. Custard Berry Talk. Cannot wait for the day we are back. These pundits are going to malfunction, man. I'm telling you. This is why. Make our voices heard. 14,000 seats empty at the moment for Sunday. Fans, vote with your feet. Leave 10,000 seats empty for a London derby against Chelsea. That will not be ignored. They didn't listen on Arsene Wenger until seats were empty. The tickets are £85. That's the cheapest seats. Do not spend that money on a seat to go and watch Arsenal with no Gabriel, no Partey, no Lacazette, no Aubameyang. They'll probably squeeze Odegaard on the bench. That is not enough. We can't accept that. The club directly earn money from ticket sales every week. That is their bread and butter, how they earn cash. If you affect that, I guarantee you will notice a difference. Bart Coleman said, if I learned anything from this transfer window, it's that English and Premier League tax has to be eradicated. Do you know what's funny? And I'm not going to lie. I was somebody that has said over the years, Arsenal need to sign more players from the Premier League. But sign the right players from the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Don't buy ones that are overpriced that you're not necessarily sure are going to improve you significantly. Classic C said, you watch 3-1 win for Arsenal. I can't see it. I don't know where the goals come from. Imagine a walkout on Sunday. I'm telling you, if Arsenal go 2-0 down, they should walk out the stadium, leave the stadium empty, live on Sky. That would make a huge noise throughout the fan base. Brett said, Curtis, we're vibing in our boot cuts on Sunday. Bro, no boot cut business, you know. But listen, I'm glad that it's happening. I'm glad the fans are taking a stand against it, you know. Christian said, Curtis, being from South Africa, we need you fans in London to put pressure on at the stadiums. We're counting on you all. People, like I said, I will do a short stream from the protest on Sunday. I will then obviously jump back in the car, get back home quick, and then I will be doing the watch along for the game. I mean, they need people to buy tickets. They're struggling, man. 14,000 tickets available for a London derby against Chelsea. After the international break, we play Norwich. Do you think the fans are going to want to go to that? You know, I think it could get difficult for Arsenal this year. I'm telling you, I know we've had a lot of divides in the fan base. We found it very difficult to really get to the situation where we feel like we're making progress, but I feel like we're starting to see a little turnaround this season. Even a lot of the older heads who've, you know, are all very behind the club are starting to turn on them, you know? Good stuff, says Static. Big up, bro. Aubameyang and Lacazette back. Any news from the training ground? Everything I've heard is that they're not training. They're not training. The club haven't announced yet whether it's COVID or anything. So we're still waiting. The rumours are that it is, but we've heard nothing. Sky Sports now reporting that Odergaard has arrived in London for a medical. Odegaard apparently is fully vaccinated and will not have to quarantine and should be involved for Sunday, as Arsenal have still got, as I said, till 12 p.m. on Friday to register him for the squad. So with it only being, what, Wednesday, is it? I don't know what day it is. He should be available for selection on Sunday, but I can't be overly excited about that. He was there last year, you know, so let's see. You will get a shock of your life on Sunday. What, you think Arsenal are going to beat them? 85 quid you could get wasted at home and turn it off at half time when we're losing 3-0. This game could be crazy, couldn't it, against Chelsea? We genuinely could shock people. But at the same time, We could get a beating. We lost 2-0 to Brentford. Chelsea are 10 times better than them. So you never know. This could get really, sticky for Arsenal on Sunday if it goes wrong. I think I think we're going to have a lot to talk about. Let's put it that way. Smash the likes, people. Still over 3.5 of you in the chat. I put up a team. I love this website, man. Create Formation for anybody that always wonders where I create these teams from. I've put this team up. This, for me, is a realistic team for Arsenal by the 31st of August. Now, a lot of people were saying yesterday, take out Odergaard and put Smith Rowe in. I'm just saying, in reality, they've spent 30 million on him. They're going to play him. Me, personally, I want Saka and Pepe out wide. He may go with Smith Rowe out wide and drop one of those guys, but I wouldn't do that. In natural wide players, that's what I would go for. August 31st, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Max Aarons and Aouar, 25 million a pop. What's so difficult about that? Why do Arsenal not sort out their team in one window? These are not difficult signings to make. Aaron's Norwich. Norwich have already said 25 to 30 they'll let him go. Not on big wages. Aouar, 25 million. Available. Not on big wages. Willing to sell him. Ben White's in. Odegaard's in. 4 new signings. Nearly half your outfield players changed. Let's go. All right, what I would say, and I do agree with that. People saying Aouar's not a 6. You would have to go 4-3-3. Camille said Pierre-Emerick Sanogo, Granit Xhaka, Bob Boldin, and Aaron Blindsdale settings. That is harsh on Aubameyang. A lot of people call him that now as well. What you would have to change to is probably 4-3-3. He would have to be the 8, wouldn't he? So... And then you change Partey and Aouar. So change them to put Partey there. I'm telling you, if you're watching this, Mikel, sorting your career out, I'm giving you an opportunity to save your job. Copy these tactics and things can happen. Look at that. Stop playing the ball through the lines. All sorts can happen. It's called Create Formation, people. Good website if you ever want to check it out and make your teams. Do you trust Pepe? I trust him enough to start him at the moment. Oh, that's actually moved Saka and Pepe. I want them on the opposite wing. I'm a perfectionist, people. It has to be right. Pepe on the right for me. Kyle on the left. Yeah, I trust Pepe. I give him an opportunity. What else have we got to lose? Paid 72 million for him, man. Play him. This team is this is his make or break season, in my opinion. What do you guys think about that team? Would you be happy August 31st if this was our starting lineup? And what would you change? Breaking news: Aubameyang and Lacazette are suffering from Arteta-itis. I think we're all suffering from that. Pierre-Emerick Boomerang. Listen, his career's, at Arsenal, he came out and it's all, the boomerang's gone everywhere. Play Pepe up top and put Martinelli on the wing. It's amazing how much people call for Pepe up front. Listen, try it on the weekend, Arteta. Play him up front against Chelsea and play Martinelli and Saka out wide. I'd have no problem. Big up Mr. Patrick, he said. Curtis out here saving people's employment. Mikel, I'm trying to save you your job here, mate. Do you know what I mean? Get Aarons, get Aouar, 25 million a pop, play 4-3-3, 2 number 8s, and we move. You can build. You can play football through the lines there, into Ben White, into Aouar, into Oba, bottom corner, 1-0 victory. Simple. Now, listen, we ain't going to end up with this team. Django Lyon said, I've had that team on career mode. You know what I'm saying? People know. Leno is ish, let's be honest, but he's better than what? He's better than Ramsdale, in my opinion. Noel the Irish Gooner said Amazon documentary will be Arteta watching Curtis Shaw TV in a bid to save his job. I'm convinced his assistant with the AirPods is listening to us on a match day. Although he can't be listening to us because we give him better advice and he ain't listening to it. Camille said, in a workplace, new banter trending. Chelsea have no past slaps with Arsenal have no future. The crazy thing is Arsenal have a good record against Chelsea in recent games, but I just don't see it. I don't see it, man, with this team we're going to have on the weekend. I would actually go. What would I go with? I'm trying to think what I would go with this weekend. Right. I'm going to pick the team for this weekend. People in the comments, give me your advice on what you would go with, right? Odegaard will be available as well, by the way. He's not available. He's don't even play for us. Right, we're picking the team for this weekend. This will save us getting battered, in my opinion. No. Tierney has to be on the left. I'm playing Tierney left centre-back. I mean, who do you play out of Pablo Marie and Rob Holding? They're both terrible. I don't know which one's worse. Go Pablo Marie. In a free, might look all right. But he's been dreadful. We'll go Pablo Marie. And then we go Ben White. I think Ben White could operate in a three-man defence. In midfield, you got to know Thomas Partey. You got to go Xhaka and Lokonga, right? In the comments, people, let me know what you think. Wing-back. I'm going Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Oh, you could go Nuno Tavares, but I'm going to go Ainsley, and I'm going to go Saka, left wing-back. Why are they showing me it? I'm going to go Bukayo Saka. And then front three, I'm going to go... saying that, we ain't even got 3 players that are available, really. Pepe. Nah, that can't work. Pepe, Martinelli. We ain't got a striker. We have not got a striker. Balogun. Can Balogun handle Thiago Silva? ESR, what am I doing? Here we go. I've gone mad, right. Do we play ESR on the left? Emile Smith-Rowe on the left. Martinelli up front. Press like a lunatic. Give me your opinions, people. Tavares left wing back. Maybe you could, you could move Tavares left wing back and then put Saka in the front three, but then who do you drop out of them three? I'm reading your comments, people. Tavares left wing back, Ainsley right wing back. I'm just thinking Arsenal need to go 3 at the back this weekend. 4 at the back's just going to get slapped all over the place. So ESR on the left. I'm doing the Arteta. I know I forgot that we didn't have a striker. Where's the middle? White in the middle. It's not good enough. Listen, I think we have to face. I think we have to face facts. No matter what team we put out, we're gonna hold a beat down off Chelsea on the weekend. So yeah, people are not happy with that team anyway. What do you guys think this weekend? How should we set up? 3-5-2 with Martinelli and Pepe up top. He's got to do something different. Pepe striker, Smith-Rowe left wing, Martinelli striker, Pepe right, Tavares left wing back, Saka right wing back, try Odegaard at false 9. That gives me Villarreal vibes, man. Lukaku runs towards Granit Xhaka, will be a putt with his tail between his legs. He'll be chasing after him, mate, with a caravan on his back. He ain't going to be able to catch him. Let's be honest. He ain't going to get nowhere near him. Either way, no matter what happens, we're going to have a very difficult game this weekend. Mari doesn't even have a picture. They rate him that little, they ain't even got a picture of him. I don't think that Balogun can start this game this weekend. I think they're going to have to go Martinelli or Pepe up front. S. Rashid said, Big C, I bet you said this last year Boxing Day. No, but at least last year Boxing Day. Was it Boxing Day when we beat Chelsea? We had Aubameyang. We had Lacazette. Chelsea were out of form. They had Frank Lampard as manager. Things were totally different. They're now Champions League winners. They've now added Lukaku. 4 of our best players are injured. And we've lost the first game of the season. So things are a little different. It will be the game of the week. It probably will. I just hope not for the wrong reasons. DV said, Big C, before we played Chelsea in December last year, we were in the same predicament. We won. Anything is possible. As I said, though, circumstances were very different. Timo Werner was missing every chance that went near him. You know, things were a little different from what we're seeing now. So, yeah, I don't have that same level of optimism that we potentially had last season. I think the circumstances will be a bit different. 0-8 incoming. Curtis, seriously, if Leno goes and Ramsdale becomes number one, then we're back in the market again for a number two. When will it end? I think that will happen next year. I think Leno leaves next season with a year left on his contract. Emi Martinez, that's all I've got to say. Martinelli and Pepe up front. Eddie like a mobile and Ketia a striker. He's injured, bro. Marvu said, you lot are getting smoked on Sunday. I mean, listen, I just want a good protest, you know, a good protest, and then we'll move on from there. Would you take Ansu Fati? I like him, lively player. Barca wouldn't spend him. Big C, we have spent over 100 mil and 3 centre-backs in the last 3 years, and we don't look any better. So who's the 3 we've bought? Ben White. Who else have we bought in the last few years? Pablo Mari, Saliba, David Luiz. Yeah, and we don't look better. GOF said Pepe is too left-footed. Maybe he needs to play on the left wing. He always cuts back to get on his left foot instead of releasing the pass. I mean, you see players like Salah, Mara, Ziyech, they make it work on their left foot on the right-hand side. I just think Pepe's got to do things quicker. Simple as that. Be more aggressive. Greg said, trust the protest. Yeah, trust the protest, not the process. Torres said, as a Chelsea fan, I'm worried about the game. Arsenal just have the hex over us. I hope you're right this weekend, but I think this one will be a difficult one. Sunday will be a day. Sunday will be a very interesting day, people. Number one, how does the protest go? Number two, how does the game go? And you can see it all live here, people. I will be streaming the protests from the Emirates, straight back afterwards. Live watch along here. So keep it locked. Marvu saying Lukaku fantasy captain. Yo, man are triple captaining him this week. Man messaged me saying, yo, I'm triple captaining Lukaku this week because they're playing Arsenal. I said, right, you lot have got no respect. Listen, I want to leave here on a positive note for Arsenal fans. It's been a difficult few days, people. So I want to send you on your merry way in a positive note. And it's not Arsenal related content. It's someone else, you know, that we can look at and at least have a bit of a joke before we get out of here. Where's Harold, people? Where is Harold? Harry Kane has not travelled to Portugal for Tottenham's Europa Conference League playoff tie. Harold does not want to go to Portugal. He does not want to play for Tottenham. And he don't want nothing to do with no Europa Conference League, people. Big up, Harold. Once a Gooner, always a Gooner. We saw the pictures, mate, of you with red hair, wearing the Arsenal kit, celebrating Thierry Henry's goals. You can tell everyone you're a Spurs fan, but the pictures are there in red and white, mate. You're a Gooner. You don't want to go to Portugal. You don't want to play Conference League. He wants to play for Pep. Beautiful stuff. You just can't write it. Yo Mama said 3-4-2-1. Tavares and Saka wingbacks. Xhaka and Lokonga pivot. ESR and Odegaard in the half spaces. Pete down the middle. Go to church that morning and pray. I'm telling you, people. Just make sure you have a good weekend before Sunday, because I have a feeling Arsenal will just come in and jeopardize that weekend very quick. But Harold, all the best, mate. Yeah, while they fly out to Portugal to play on a park against the Portuguese Weatherspoons, you stay at home, mate, and relax and get that move sorted out to Man City. Do yourself a favour. So a nice way to end the stream, people. Where's Harold? We don't know where he is. Big up to everyone for tuning in today. Still over 3,500 in here. Make sure you smash the like button on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm back tomorrow. We'll be building up to the weekend's game. I'm going to try and get a Chelsea fan on for a preview, probably on Friday or Saturday, so look out for that. Like I said, I will be at the protest and then straight back for the watch-along on Sunday, so that will be a very interesting day. Big up to everyone for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day, people, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bless.